Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son, George. I was my mother's caregiver after she was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Unfortunately, she passed on 1/1/2020, so we started Together for Sharon.com in her memory and to advocate today for a cure for all those still battling PD and their families because no one is ever alone in this fight for a cure. Today's guest is someone I consider family. We've known each other for some time, but she's on the other side of the world fighting for a cure, just like we are here in the US. But I do feel, and I think she'll agree, that together our voices are so much stronger. So, welcome, Dominique. It's really honor to have you, but also it's so exciting because a lot of the work you do is it's not rare, but it's very unique. I don't see a lot of out there. It's only maybe two people I even know in the world that really specialize in what you do. And I wanted to take today to bring yoga to the forefront so people out there listening who don't know, and I didn't even know how important yoga is to slow the progression of Parkinson's, but also to just make you feel better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
well, maybe we could start by if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, I was diagnosed with PD about 6.5 years ago. And at the time, I was a journalist and an editor and writing for newspapers and magazines. And well, that was not a great combination with the Parkinson's. So I thought about changing my life and doing something different. And I already was engaged in yoga, and I thought this might be a good combination, yoga and Parkinson's. And well, actually, it turns out to be a very, very good combination. I will tell about that later. But I became a yoga teacher and also someone who teaches other yoga teachers to give classes to people with Parkinson's. So the unique thing I think is that I have Parkinson's disease and I am the yoga teacher of people with Parkinson's disease. And the people in my yoga class are always, yeah, happy, or that's maybe a crazy word, but they are somehow relieved that the teacher herself also has trembling legs or stiff arms or whatever.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you coming on. One reason I do this, obviously, we don't want money. We just want a cure. But I try to look for unique individuals and fascinating journeys. And to me, yours is one. Again, I tried yoga once, Bikram, the hot yoga. Didn't work out too well,
Mm.
but it definitely.
No, but there are so many different forms of yoga.
Yeah, but I think the great thing with yoga is it also helps the caregiver. So this is something that, the individuals diagnosed can do together, and it's a beautiful thing. It's not even just something like a sport. I think it transcends beyond that, and again, it's such an honor to have you here so we can share this message around the world. Can you tell everyone too where you're calling in from?
I'm calling in from Hoofddorp, a tiny little village in the Netherlands, and it's near Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. People may know that better. And it's 8 p.m. here, and well, we survived New Year's Eve just like you did.
That's
And
what I.
well, we have this organization here in the Netherlands, Yoga for Parkinson, and with that, we want to spread the word, as to say, about all the benefits that yoga can have for people with Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting things planned. Everyone listening, please share this. Please support Dominique and also all that she does. But we're working on some things we can't talk yet about. But I look around when I write books. I didn't really want to write books. I just found what my passion is really that there's just not enough information out there in the world of Parkinson's. So, not to get too far into it, but my first book, Son's Journey, really was shocking to me that there isn't, and I always challenge everyone listening to write me if I'm wrong, but I did hours and days and months of research, and there isn't one person in the world that wrote a book who lost a son who lost their mother due to Parkinson's, and that's why I thought we needed it. The same thing with we're releasing very soon the Police and Parkinson's, which will concentrate on the law enforcement world in the U.S. But I don't see it. What I really want is more on sports and slowing the progression. There are a lot of individuals like my mother who had Parkinson's for 15 years and didn't even know. She never even thought of yoga. I think she would have loved it because she liked a lot of the meditation and things like that, but we didn't know. So if we could just change one person, and just tell them just try it, even if you don't like it. There's so many other things. But I mean, I interviewed an incredible person the other day who does rock climbing. I never dreamed I would even be able to rock climb, let alone someone who has Parkinson's and he's out there doing it. So,
Wow.
there's something for everyone, but if they're not aware, they'll never know. So, I want to now move a little bit and share some of the most important things. The first is today we're going to thank you many times, but wanted to thank you again. We've known each other for a long time, but this is a beautiful interview Dominique did with me. If you go to togetherforsharon.com, click interviews, you can find a lot more in depth about your background and a lot more about I mean, you should be considered, I guess, young onset too, which is another, and there's a lot of issues like women and Parkinson's we've been concentrating a lot on because it's so important that women don't feel alone. And finally, this is what we'll talk now a lot about, but please go to yoga, the number 4, parkinson.nl. I'll be sharing all the links in the notes, so don't worry about writing them down now. But maybe you could take us through a little, Dominique, about the website, about what you do, and all the things that everyone listening should really jump in. And it's not just for individuals out of the US, it's also for people in the US, although they might not be able to understand some of the.
Reading the website might be a bit difficult, but
So beautiful. So beautiful.
I will try to talk about it. Well, actually, the website is as much for yoga teachers, so where they can follow these special classes to teach to give classes to people with Parkinson's, and it's information for people with PD about why yoga could be so beneficial for them. And maybe, as you know, about yoga, there are still a lot of misunderstandings, and we really would like to get them out of the way so that, as you said before, everyone at least tries yoga and then decides, well, is this something I would like to do more often, or is it not for me? And then most of the people uh, experience that it's nothing about being very flexible. It's nothing about doing the most difficult poses. It's all about being connected to your body again, and getting, yeah, friends with your body again, something people with PD don't often are, because the body doesn't do what you want and your head and your body are all working separately. And with yoga, because you move with mindfulness, yeah, you move and get your mind involved in it. It does something completely different than just the moves you do in the gym or something. It's, well, yeah, it's sometimes hard to explain, but all the people I let try to move with their mind completely focused on it experience that it's a completely different movement. For example, you experience the space, the room you can feel inside when you expand your chest, or when you lift your arm and you feel the space in your right side or your left side. And that's the big difference from moving in the gym, which is also good, of course. But because you consider the mind and the breath all as important as the movement itself, it's it makes something special of it, and it makes you stronger, and at the same time more relaxed, more at ease with your body. And as maybe you know, stress and anxiety come from Parkinson's disease, but also are not a great combination with Parkinson's disease. So all the tension and anxiety that you can solve by doing yoga, yeah, makes you feel comfortable and more at ease with your body, and at the same time slows down the symptoms, we think. And there's more and more evidence gathered that it truly helps slow down of course it doesn't cure the disease, but it absolutely minimizes or makes the symptoms less, um, yeah, how would you say, invasive in your daily life. You learn how to deal with them. That's also a part of yoga, that you learn how to deal with discomfort. You know, PD is a disease you don't get, you don't cure for the moment. So you have to be, yeah, somehow comfortable with the knowledge that you will be uh, ill for the rest of your life, if you can say it like that. But that doesn't mean that you have to be a patient, or that you have to be that you can't do anything anymore, or that you can't live your life anymore. And that's also where yoga helps me. Yeah, being comfortable with the thought of that, and not letting it lead my whole life, if that makes any sense.
It does, and it's really important and impactful. And I'm just trying to. We just started a show now where we go to zoom in around the world to maybe we'll have to do it at one of your live yoga events and just for a few minutes share what the inside because these shows are definitely fun and great, but it doesn't give the inside look that I always want everyone to see. But we can play a few of these if it doesn't freeze. But I also want to send everyone to your incredible Facebook. So if you go to Yoga for Parkinson's, we follow you. Also, I really enjoy your own Instagram because it shows the different sides of Parkinson, but also the people because that's really important. I always like loving them all while we're on while we're on live. But so please follow Dominique there too. This is an actual video from your YouTube, which I recommend everyone also subscribe to. Unfortunately, it's not going right now. And also another here, they're talking, so it's not as. Hey, let's hear what they're saying. Juist focus hebben op de uitademing. Oh, the different language barriers are shown, but you can
It's
see it.
Dutch, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be. It's relax. Just watching this is going to make me kind of relax, and then I don't want to fall asleep. Keep the show going. And then also, an important one again is on the LinkedIn, and here you can follow all of the work that you do and other organizations like Parkinson's Funds. I'm sure you know
Yeah.
some of the other incredible individuals around the world, like Wendy. Wendy's Parkinson journey has become like my sister. So we
Yeah,
shout out to Wendy right now. And
absolutely.
although, again, it's very important that we all, in my view, join together around the world because I don't see a lot of yoga in the United States. I mean, we might have kind of, like gyms and they'll offer it, but it's not specific for Parkinson's. Some big organizations might also offer it, but again, it's not specifically called Yoga for Parkinson's. So I hope you copyright it and make sure no one tries to take the name because that's a beautiful name. Uh,
Yeah.
well, I wanted to now shift a little to with our viewers to talk a little bit more about you. Can you tell us
Mhm.
3 words that describe who you are?
Ooh, in 3 words?
Different words, or
Well, uh, yeah, there you got me. I'm optimistic, I'm enthusiastic, and I am very resilient.
those are great words, and it's even the name of the book behind me. See, Voices of Resilience, and
Yeah,
you're in
exactly.
one of the website because a lot of people, again, I think through yoga can really change their life for the better. But if they're not
Absolutely.
aware, or unfortunately, my mother for 15 years didn't really again know yoga could even help, so we never even had the opportunity to try it. Which unfortunately, if I had known you, we probably would have done a live thing, and you would have met her, and it would have been amazing. And
Yeah, that
that's
would
really
have
what
been great.
the goal of the show is to reach, even if we just reach one person out there who doesn't know about yoga and now is aware, then we really change the world for the better. So I'm grateful again for your friendship and all that you do.
Absolutely.
Is there one moment or most memorable moment that stands out through all of your work with awareness today that you could share?
Well, actually, the most precious moments are with the people in my yoga class, the people with Parkinson's. For example, I had a partner of a man with Parkinson's, and she told me, I don't know what you do every week, but he comes home so happy that it must be really good what you're doing. And that's exactly what you say. If you can make the life of one person like this, then it's all worth it. And so I have many examples of, well, for example, people who say, when I do your class afterwards, I just forget about the Parkinson's for just a half an hour, or because we are all with people with PD in one class, we don't feel like the outsider. You know, in normal life, normally you're the outsider because you're the only one with strange movements or other things. And because we all have it, it feels like, yeah, you're actually normal in this class of people with PD. And people, yeah, that's also something that makes people more at ease with their condition, and more, they accept it better, and they realize that the condition is just a tiny part of you, but there is so much more of you that still is there, and that you can use, and that you can develop. And it all helps to not ignore the disease, but also not let it uh, take over your life completely. And well, if people realize that, if I see that in my class, that people realize, wow, I can still live a life in spite of my PD, that's one of the most memorable moments I can think of.
No, I appreciate it, and it is a beautiful moment, and I know there's more than one, so it's always a tough question.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is another area I like to bring up. Obviously, you have Parkinson's and you're doing so many incredible things. So that's two things on top of one. I always try to stop the show for a moment and thank the people in your life and behind the scenes who don't really, who aren't the face of, Parkinson's or for yoga. But I was wondering if there's someone who helps you during times of struggle, because we want to thank them as well today.
Well, obviously, my husband is my rock, and he supports everything I do. And well, it's really because of him that I can do all these things. Because behind the screens, well, he brings me to places, and he makes sure that at home everything goes smoothly. And well, he's my biggest fan, I think. And well, that
I'll
gives
be
me
second
the
or second big.
and well, also my sons, they are really proud of me. And well, I think those three men are really the backbone of my existence, if I can say it like that.
I appreciate it. And we send our love to the whole family, your husband, sons, and thank them for supporting you so that you're able to support so many others. Likely
Absolutely.
someone listening might have just been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. What advice could you give them?
I would give them the advice that a famous Dutch neurologist gave me when I was diagnosed. And the thing he said was, life doesn't stop at the diagnosis of Parkinson's. And at the moment, I didn't completely realize what he was talking about. But a few years later, I knew, this is what he meant. If you stay curious and want to meet new people, and maybe look for new ways to live your life and be useful, life absolutely doesn't stop. You can lead a very fulfilling life, in spite of, yeah, even with PD, or Mrs. P, as I call her.
Mhm. Well, I appreciate it. And I'm curious what your thoughts are. Obviously, we're trying to do this question here with the show, but what are some ways you can think of where we can really share more awareness around the world for PD, but also yoga for Parkinson's?
Um, Yeah, obviously I don't know, but you might have contact with all the big organizations in at least the United States. Like here in the Netherlands, we have this uh, association for people with Parkinson's, and there's this association collecting funds for research. And well, those are the obvious organizations to make aware and help spread information about yoga, I think. But also maybe the organizations that uh, yeah, that organize the every sports in the United States. Maybe if you send an email to all sports organizations, like, what are you doing with people with PD, or do you do something with people with PD? they might be surprised that it's even possible. I think that people with PD are often, yeah, somewhere ignored in the normal world because you were supposedly yeah, unable to do anything anymore. Um, yeah, maybe those organizations, if you could contact them and help them spread the information about sports and Parkinson's and yoga.
I'm surprised there's not more for yoga out there. You know, I would think that
Yeah,
I thought it would be, or I would think it should be incorporated into almost, every organization and thing, but it's not. So it's very, number one, important you're doing it. But as a spokesperson, we need to bring you to America too, and really start that because you see Rock City Boxing, who I love. You see a lot of pancakes for Parkinson's. You see all these great things, but haven't seen a lot with yoga except for you and one other individual, which is really
yeah.
interesting but shocking in the same time because I think we need everybody. Something you could do at home, you can do it virtually. There's so many, ways to bring it to the home. So everyone listen.
And actually, yoga is one of the things you can do always, even if you're really not able to move a lot, you can still do yoga.
Yeah, it's amazing. But to shift a little, here's a question: Is who is your hero and inspiration?
We. Well,
Sometimes I
you are, of course.
oh, thanks. Sometimes I like I love the response to the question more than the actual answer to the question.
Yeah, that's really difficult. Well, yeah, it might sound a bit stupid, but again, though the people in my yoga class who come, sometimes they come by bike, they cycle for 8 kilometers to come to the yoga class, and even if it's raining or windy, and they come because they like it so much and they want to still have their lives and lead their lives and not be put down by Mrs. P. Those are my real heroes, actually.
I appreciate that. It's very important because again, my mother, for 7 years didn't tell us she had Parkinson's. So sometimes I think that she didn't want to burden the family, but I wish she had. And it was kind of, progressing so quickly. I still don't understand to this day why it went so quickly. And it was almost,
Mm,
even now, I'm still baffled, but can't look back. You have to look forward. But I do remember she didn't want to leave the house a lot. My wife was incredible. My mother, towards the last year of her life, she really didn't feel well, so it was tough to go out. So my wife would bring in like women type things, like pedicurists, manicure, hair,
mm,
the house. And some days she was too sick to do it, but it made her feel like a person again. And that's really what I think yoga could do physically and mentally. So it's not really just
absolutely.
so everyone try to reach out to Dominique, ask, and I guarantee she'll be happy to work with you no matter where you are in the world, which again, COVID was horrible, but it brought us all so much closer together virtually. We probably would never have met if it wasn't for, the World Parkinson Congress and also these types of technology because I wasn't even aware that there were 10 million people around the world with Parkinson until I discovered the World Parkinson Congress. And I'm just, it was kind of sad, but exciting at the same time. Sad because I didn't want so many people to have PD, but
Mm.
exciting to be able to learn other individual journeys around the world. So we
And to
always,
reach out to each other.
yeah. What drives you and motivates you to keep also fighting? Because you're not just a yoga teacher, but you're also again battling PD. So I was curious what, kind of put something in you in your heart to keep fighting and also for others too.
Well, something you just mentioned about your mother not telling for 7 years that she had PD is one of the reasons because I feel so sad for everyone that thinks that he or she should be ashamed to tell they have Parkinson's disease. It's so terrible. It makes me it makes me really want to shout out that if you have PD, it's not your fault or it's not embarrassing or you should not be ashamed. And I really would like to, yeah, give some kind of face to Parkinson's disease other than the old man that everyone knows, and let people see that even if your hand shakes or your face does strange things, you should not be embarrassed, but you should be proud that you are there and that you are still living your life and that you are not being beaten by Mrs. P, but yeah, that you give it the best you can.
Yeah, we definitely want to get rid of misconceptions on the show. I always bring up some important things. You know, one of the sad thing is whether it's Parkinson's or other illnesses. I've had many back surgeries, unfortunately, and I'm honest, but no one can see. You know, I have this brace on. I usually don't show it, but and then there are people like yourself who look incredible and might not feel incredible, but we don't see it. You know, they think it's everybody. You know, my mother had more internal tremor. She didn't have external to the end. So it's just because someone doesn't show signs doesn't mean they're not feeling, you know, as well as you think. So we always try to, I have a blog, I think you might know, it's called Tackling Tough Topics, where we talk about everything because there's nothing to
Okay.
hide. You have to be honest. There's no reason. We don't want anything except a cure. So it's a kind of a weird, you know, we're in 2025 now. Happy New Year. And 24, though, I found just as an advocate, and I'm writing a book on it, some struggles odd, you know, because I can't bring my mother back, sadly. So some people wonder, you know, why would you want to even put so much time and effort into this? Then when they meet me and get to know me, understand why. Because I don't want anyone to feel alone like we did. I don't want anyone to go through what my mother did or our family. And that's more than enough that you need to be able to do that. But you always have like the 1% in the world that just don't understand. They think there's some kind of thing behind, like you're gonna secretly say, no, wait, there's more. But then when you realize I don't want money and I don't accept it, then it's like, oh, all right. But you know, it's interesting, and hopefully, as we progress in the world, we understand that everyone listening should share this. Get your neighbors, get your relatives, get your friends involved, because if everybody just took a walk or did yoga for an hour together, really would change the world for the people with Parkinson's, for the caregivers, and for everybody. So, really important message today. As we wrap up, I just had a few more. This one's a few, I know you're going to love this one. If you were asked to write a script to a movie about your life story, what would you call the movie, and who would play your role as an actress?
Well, the movie would be called Carpe fucking Diem,
Okay.
and the who would play my role? Oh gee, um, that's really a hard one. Uh,
You can always
can't I
get,
come back to that?
you can. Yep, you can even email it if you need to.
I could name a Dutch actress, but that doesn't mean anything to you, of
Yeah,
course.
it does. Everybody means somebody to me. So you
Yeah,
can,
that's true.
you love it.
um,
Everyone probably thinks I'm from Poland or Netherlands because I'm tall, 6'2", well, really white, and you know, blonde hair and blue eyes. There's not many, and I'm German.
well, you know, actually, I would love to try and play the role myself.
That's a good one. I like that. That's
Yeah.
acceptable. We'll accept that. Well, it's really been an honor and pleasure. And like I always say, this is not the end. We have to keep sharing this. This show is very different, and no offense to other shows, I love them all. But my dream is to keep sharing this till there's a cure. So if you all see this coming to a theater near you soon, it won't just be once, it'll be reoccurring. And it has to continue until there's a cure to everyone's doorsteps around the world. And final question today, Dominique, is if you could leave the Parkinson's community today with some words of encouragement, what would they be?
Sorry, if I could leave the Parkinson's community.
With some words of encouragement, or kind of they leave them on a, you know, excited level as we wrap up.
Well, life doesn't stop at the diagnosis of Parkinson's, and absolutely appreciate every little beautiful thing in your life. Don't take it for granted, but try to enjoy every beautiful moment you can.
It's beautiful. It's hard to follow up with that, but I do want to thank you for your time, your friendship, all that you do around the world. Please, everyone, also go to yoga, the number 4, parkinson.nl, and I'll be sharing all these links, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, in the notes. So please subscribe and like. There's no cost, and I just think it's incredible what you're doing. I still am shocked that there's not more out there, but in a way, that's good for you because you're the face of it. So it's important that everyone out there follow you, join you, and also understand how important yoga can be for not just the individuals who are diagnosed, but also caregivers. And I think doing things together is like, I mean, I know, again, I wish I had the opportunity. I would have done that with my mother in her house on the floor.
Mm,
And it's cool that you don't even have to leave the house, where you can just zoom in, I'm sure, and follow you and learn from you. And we would have had a private session. We would have been laughing, crying, and having fun at the same time.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
there's no reason everyone else can't. So thank you again for all that you do. And
Thank you so much for having me.
anytime. And I have a little message for you, Dominique, and everyone listening. We love you. We support you. We care a lot about you, and you're never alone. I, along with Dominique and Yoga for Parkinson's, will advocate for you, and together our voices are so much stronger. And I always say I'm just getting started, because even though I haven't, I've been doing it. Unfortunately, it's been 5 years. Just a few days ago was the anniversary. My mother passed. But every time I want to feel like it's just too much or I'm overwhelmed, I turn and look to incredible heroes like yourself. There's females out there that aren't aware that young people have Parkinson's, or people can still have a life with Parkinson's, and they can. And because you're out there advocating and fighting, I think I know the world is a much better place. So thank you again, and thank you everyone for listening. This has been another episode of Q&A with Sharon's son George, but it's not the end. We have so much more to come, incredible guests, and we have to keep supporting Dominique until I want to see 2 million followers, and that's not even enough. And,
Wow.
yeah, and I don't want anything in return but a cure at everybody's doorsteps around the world. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks, Dominique. Please stay tuned. We have so much more to come, and we send our love. Thanks, everyone.